at the executive mansion. And as a matter of fact, I am speaking from my residence in Congotown. This is where I stay. So I'm now in a hideout. And this is intended to inform the police that despite the fact that they are seeking to harm protesters, they continue to escalate tension, brutalize citizens, arbitrarily arrest peaceful protesters. And as we speak, we got close to 15 persons now being held against their will, arrested arbitrarily, not for breaking laws, but by simply turning out to peacefully protest. They have been arrested and are in detention at the Liberia National Police headquarters. So after the protest, I had to make a stop over to conduct a post-protest interview. So which meant I did not come directly at my house. So a lot of our supporters and participants of the protest have come up front. Some came to my house and they were waiting for me. And while they were at my house, members of the Liberian National Police came to my gate and tried to forcibly gain entrance. And then in the processes, they could not gain entrance. There was a discharge of weapon. That is, they fired guns at the house, which created fear and panic. And those that were within the confines of the compound how to use the security gate to escape. Some ran into the swamp, some ran in other directions, helter skelter. So the essence of this is to give an eyewitness an opportunity to explain exactly what transpired tonight. Because even though I know they're still going to deny and try to lie, and as a matter of fact, there were many eyewitnesses that were here when the police came and discharged a firearm without any provocation. They didn't come to arrest anybody. They just drove to the gate, tried to gain forceful entry, and started shooting gun at my residence. So this is the essence of this conversation. I'm now going to give the eyewitness an opportunity to explain exactly what happened tonight at my residence after the lead or leave protest. So you just call your name and you can pick it up from there.
So my name is Aaron Mason. I joined the protest today from Bowman County. When we went to the executive mansion after the police tried to brutalize our people, the youth force on us, some of us were able to make our way out of the scene and we ran to Jeremiah Hall for rescue. While sitting in the chair, we had a heavy foot of feet sent to the security booth. In the process, they got fired. When he fired, the peacock came with heavy force and came exactly in front of the security booth. Then the single leg of the police vehicle started to blink. But in the process, the security for this yard was enough in the small security booth in there.
Yeah.
There where he was. And we were sitting in these chairs right there. Sitting in the chair. So when the fire the group ran, we all ran at this. So the security guy went down until you saw the left blinking because there's a heavy gate that locked. We need the spy area you can see. So all of us saw the left blinking. That security guy ran behind me. Later on, they start forcing this gate to enter. So I said, the security guy, no, we got to go back to properly lock the gate. Because the youth enter, we know what will happen. We came, the security guy came, but when we reached here, I stood God brought them with stand. Anybody fit outside here. So we saw the black boots, they were all outside here. But I tried to force to get the security man, keep the iron oil that was like this. So you have to push it back so you can remain on the lock. In the process, we went there, there were other companies from over the fence. They have to be the other Omar, other elderly people, they were your old people here, they have to use the security. Go on that side, we escape, they jump in the swamp and other things, they escape. So we remain here, well, 4 persons that remain here. After the whole situation, were afraid. You see me, I can't lead it just to do for the protest, but I have to disguise myself because of fear that the police fire going to thing. Up to now, we are afraid to even make our way to go home. And later on in the era, we don't know to barricade the place. get on one of about what so another policeman on motorbike entering water. I saw you on motorbike entering. He can't slow down looking from the gate and pass the one that there's a situation that took place here. The police came and fired gun in front of the gate. And when they fired the gun, they forcibly tried to open the gate. And the security guard, our key has stood here because I was so afraid for them to look on. I saw the blah blah booze. I had a message that the people here, and then but they tried to stay in there, knock here, and slay to the exact area that he reached there. So he lay in there, and we all went down. Other people dumped over the fence. And the old people that are here were other people that came with the program how to use the escape route now, to use the security route to escape into the swamp in other places. I put flare all in this place.
Okay, so the thank you very much, man. So do you feel secure enough to go?
So for that, I may not answer the question because it still brings fear to me. Any attempt to answer what I will go will also give the police
Okay,
a
all right.
better intent to create more
I
back.
understand that. So the essence of this live podcast is to inform the public about police continuous crackdown, which is creating an escalating tension. And after the protest, you'll dislodge the protest by shooting tear gas canisters. Today, for the first time since President Walker was elected, we saw the police display new weapons, new guns. I've never seen weapons of that kind in the country. And so those who are sitting supinely and have built a perception that there is going to be a free and fair 2029 election, this is a real awakening for you. You see how Bracket is fighting to consolidate power. He has become arbitrary and he's been emboldened every time. To today, the deployment of the police force is maximalizes the agenda of this government to use the police as a weaponized instrument of dissent or weaponized instrument of brutality against peaceful protesters. If they can do this today against peaceful protesters who were simply calling Bracket to attention because of the egregious commission of crimes or corruption, abuse of the rule of law, raping teenagers with impunity, the escalation in the drug campaign, which is been credited to government officials to quote the Indian Human Rights Commission and an official of the very drug enforcement agency. And these escalations created the basis for protest. And we don't want to apologize for this. And we will do it as many times as possible. But you saw how the police was deployed to harm peaceful protesters, to crack down on peaceful or civil dissent, and to create a climate of fear. So if these things are happening 4 years outside election cycle, think about what will happen in the election cycle. So Wacken is determined to keep weaponizing the police under a brutal police bandit called Gregory Coma, who just visited Rwanda and also visited Sierra Leone trying to lobby arms and ammunition and crowd suppression instruments against peaceful citizens.
I directly regret why I did not make any move to prevent Musa Belete from leading Liberty Party. Musa is a criminal. Musa loves money. He gets it anyway, so he thinks due is only money. Musa is under duress. Musa is working for CDC. Musa's motive and goal is to destabilize CPP so that CDC can get a second chance. Since Musa Belete became chairman, Liberty Party has not issued one governance statement on anything critical against this government. Because the gentleman falling in bed with the government to ensure a second term, the only pawn in Musa's deal is comments.
What a great way to say good morning. Welcome to your Info Breakfast Companion, The Positive Show, where we exchange ideas for the common good of our country, taking into consideration all things matters. We hold no allegiance to any political party. We give equal opportunity to every individual who form part of our discourse. Mahatma Gandhi said, and I quote, the difference between what we do and what we are capable of doing will suffice to solve most of the world's problems, unquote. It's yet another day, another time, another opportunity on this 18th day of December 2025. Gradually we're slipping out of 2025. Too many things to talk about this morning. As usual, we bring you the flight surges from the Roberts International Airport, the vehicular traffic movement around Monrovia and its environs. We bring you the commodity reports, basically touching base on the gasoline and a few oil prices. Health tip, commercial commitment, our simple minds and courtesy segment, and a lot more all packaged here today on our presentation. So we'd love to say good morning to you wherever you find yourself. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. For those of you following us on the diaspora, I would say whatever your time zone is, welcome to the Positive Show. My name is Rufus Divine Cannon. I lead another fellow. First among equals, of course, I'm destined for greatness. I'm going to be with you up to 10 o'clock this morning. So for the very best, call a friend to tell a friend that indeed the Positive Show is on. And if you are in that vehicle going to your business area or your area of work, or you at home, wherever you find yourself, just get glued. This is where we provide education, information, and a bit of entertainment. A batch of our team song followed by our commercial commitments. When we come back, we delve into issues. On yesterday, the most publicized leave protest was held. What did happen? We're also going to be talking about that. And the police is out with a press release for which we will be reading out this morning. And listen to the lead campaigner of the protest, Moba Malu. He had a podcast on late evening accusing the police of using firearms at his residence. We're going to be listening to the SF as well. So stick and say, don't go away. Our commercial commitment is next on this broadcast.
Whoa! MTN mobile money now to again for the first time in Liberia. You can send money from your phone straight to Africa, Ghana, Sierra Leone, Guinea, Uganda, Rwanda, Mali, and Senegal. No more stressing on how you will send your children's school fees to Rwanda or your market money to Guinea or even order your goods from Ghana. Momo is now across borders, so just dial *156*1#, select international transfers and follow the instructions.
Send money instantly and conveniently across Africa right from the phone. Dial *156*1# and select international transfer to cross borders with Momo. Outbound remittance powered by BNB. A Lone Star Cell MTN mobile money.
What's making your face sour again today? I'm supposed to pay my landlord today, but I forget today last Saturday and the bank is closed soon. But a big problem, but in Lone Star Cell MTN mobile money get push and pull service. Oh yeah, I can withdraw the money from my bank account to my mobile money account and pay my landlord in 5 minutes. Thank you, Jojo, thank you.
Banking with any of these banks: GT Bank, UBA Bank, Access Bank, Echo Bank, LBDR, IB Bank, Afriland Bank, or Global Bank. Simply visit the bank and request to link your bank account to your mobile money account. Get access to your money whenever you need it without any headache. It only takes 3 minutes. Mama more, whenever, wherever.
MTN.
Are you looking for fast, reliable internet for your home, small business, or office? Look no further. Get the MTN 4G router from any MTN service center today for just $49. Cat 4 router and $89 Cat 6 router, and enjoy connectivity and convenience like never before. No stress, just connectivity and convenience. You can activate your router yourself at any time using MTN Momo or airtime. Just dial *355# and enjoy bundles starting as low as $9.
Rush now and get your 4G internet router. Call 5656 for more information. Enjoy affordable, fast, and reliable internet with Lone Star Cell MTN. Business done better.
MTN.
Across the whole continent, the whole family now come together again. One more time, from Ivory Coast straight to Tanzania, Nigeria to Angola, everybody gets something to say. Until somebody say, maybe that will lock on Ivory Coast side all the time. From December 21st to the 18th of January, everybody will come together for the biggest football tournament for Africa. The whole 24 country in a 52 game. That the African Cup of Nations Morocco 2025 talking about yes. So join our DSTV family live on Super Sport for only $25 US, and you get a 4 DSTV kit and enjoy one more of free access. To buy it or pay for it or reconnect, you must dial *156# on your Lone Star Cell MTN mobile money phone or *144# on your Orange Money phone. And anything you want to know, you must call +231 775 10753 or +231 886 510 753.
Liberia, are you ready? Your chance to turn small money into big winnings is here. It's the NLA 590 Lotto, powered by Blue Star Lotto. 5 balls out of 90. Match your numbers, win instantly. From Monday to Saturday, we draw twice daily to double your chances. The diamond draw is at 2 p.m., while the gold draw is at 8:30 p.m. To play is very easy. Visit any of our point of sales agents near you. Play for as low as $50 Liberian. Pick up your numbers from 1 to 90. Your printed ticket is your key to cash. Just a reminder, when you win, cash out fast through Momo Money or Orange Money. Or better still, visit us at 18th Street Cinco, 4th floor, a mile building, Monrovia, Liberia. This is your time to shine. Play today because luck might be calling your name. Not just that, Blue Star Lotto is now recruiting POS agents nationwide. Isn't that a good news? Join us and be part of Liberia's growing lottery network. Call us on +231 888 001151 or +231 778 001151. Once again, call us on +231 888 001151 or +231 778 001151. NLA 590 Lotto. Play to win. Numbers are everywhere. Okay, after the commercial commitment, we are back this morning and we are going strictly to the vehicular traffic movement this morning to update you as it relates to the traffic in and around Monrovia. This morning, we have our intern, Francis Cromer, at exactly 4 minutes down 8 o'clock. We want to know where is Francis? Francis, good morning. Yes, how are you this morning, Francis?
I'm right here right like the most the biggest market in the Republic of Nigeria. That's right.
Okay, so how is the traffic and that of the pedestrian movement on that side?
Yes, I can see this morning rather is strong, rather is good. The atmosphere in rather here is 100%. We are having to just traveling from one place to another. And the vehicle movement here is moving still. The police here, these are doing a possible best. We have and the people can move freely. So, but if you're going to one to 77, it will be very difficult for you because to find your way through on that track is something that you experience there. But when you are going to one, the things you feel is the police are doing all things possible to make sure that you don't have much traffic towards the people.
So that you are already in Painesville. So you are simply telling us if you are going towards the Duper Road end, right?
Yeah, the Duper Road end. Thank you very much. When you're going towards the Duper Road end, you will not experience that much traffic. But if you're going towards the second end, you experience a little bit traffic.
Okay. So in terms of the pedestrians, how is the turnout regarding the sellers, the petty sellers, and those who have stores and other things? Are they open at the moment?
Yeah, when I got there, I was thinking whether people slept here right there. Yeah. When you find out whether people have slept here, but the area is just back to those sellers are putting their goods to where the pedestrians have access to work. Mind you, the sidewalk is been jammed back with the sellers with their goods. They brought up scalpers on it, during sidewalk and put it down to sell their market. So the movement of pedestrians is something that you find it very difficult because when you try to get your way through, you must pass through somebody on the market to get your way through. But the police are all doing everything possible to make sure that everything comes in order.
So let us understand from you. The last time there was a situation there in the red light end regarding a pregnant woman or those petty trailers, which of course a pregnant woman became a victim of raid by the Painesville City Police. So at this point, do you have any glance of Painesville City Police officers around there?
Well, now I haven't seen any Painesville City Police officers here for where I'm standing. But what I gather is that according to some of the sellers, they told me that the Painesville City Police gave them the opportunity to sell for this season. And after this season, they will not give them the opportunity to sell on the sidewalk. So that's why you saw some of them brought their market on the sidewalk to sell. But when I engaged one of the police officers, told me that he has no idea of what they are doing. And himself is something that is shocking to me. The sellers bringing their goods on the sidewalk to sell, especially the only shelters bringing it on the sidewalk to sell is something that is finished. But however, they are all working together to see how best that the free movement of people from one place to another can get access, that everybody do have their right to move. So as they are selling, the only thing is go through the record channel, respect and make sure that people should have access to move from one place to another.
Okay, Francis, thank you so much for informing us this morning from the red light end. He's Francis Croman, our intern there, making sure that we get informed about the movement that in the Painesville area. So this morning, we're going to bring you the flat schedules from the Roberts International Airport. I will stop here. Before we go to that, it will interest you to know that on yesterday was bumper to bumper. Yes, yesterday was bumper to bumper due to the protests that was carried out up Capitol Hill. We understand that we were out on the scene, and there was this blockade from the mansions in, and those that were coming from the Painesville side, let's say the deeper side of Sincor, heading towards town. They had a detour due to the blockade by the protesters. They had a detour on the Jalatan Road, and some drove as far as the Foreign Affairs, and the police created a detour within the University of Liberia premises. So those that were coming from Sincor, the deepest part of Sincor, heading towards town, they used by way of the University of Liberia to come out from that end. And those that were coming from Central Town, they also used the University of Liberia. But most interestingly, there were others who actually used by way of the Jala Town until after things went out of hand. And the police at 4 o'clock decided to get the protesters off the streets. So we had a huge traffic congestion on yesterday on the Tottenham Boulevard. And the police did extremely well on yesterday to curtail the level of traffic congestion when the protester left the scene. And you understand? Yes, the protester left the scene at 4 o'clock. And there were a lot of things that happened along the way while they were being dispersed. We will also touch base on that. But let us single out that on yesterday, there were a lot of good things that happened until at the end of it, when they were told to leave, we saw the negatives taking center stage. But let's go to the Roberts International Airport now to provide you the flight schedules. We begin with the Ethiopian Airline flight ET942. Ethiopian Airlines. Let's get this. The internet is trying to get a little delay. So let's basically get to refresh this morning. Before we go to that, let's get while we refresh, let's get now to the Central Bank of Liberia exchange rates. We have the buying and selling rates from the Central Bank of Liberia as of Tuesday, the 16th of December. This was posted on the website of the Central Bank of Liberia. So the buying rate is 176.17, while the selling rate is 178.62. So the buying rate is 176.17, while the selling rate is 178.62. So that does it for the exchange rate. Let us now go to the weather forecast. Thanks to the BBC for always providing us updates. It's partially sunny this morning, and it feels like 29 degrees Celsius. So officially, it's 26 degrees Celsius this morning. But at around 11 this morning, we will start to experience drizzles. And we will actually experience 28 degrees Celsius by 20%. So at 12 May Day, we'll also experience drizzle. At 1, we'll experience drizzle. At 2, we'll also experience drizzle. 3, 4, we'll experience drizzle. And at 5, you understand that there will be no rainfall. Up to 6 and head on. We'll talk about that. So precipitation is at 0%. The wind is blowing 5 kilometers per hour, and humidity is 86% this morning. So let's now move on to the flight schedules there at the Roberts International Airport. The Roberts International Airport. Thanks to Flight Trader 24. Yeah, so this morning, Ethiopian Airlines will arrive at the Roberts International Airport at 10:05 from Freetown, Sierra Leone, and the flight is ET942, Ethiopian Airlines, ET942. We arrived at the Roberts International Airport at 10:05 this morning from Freetown, Sierra Leone. Air Peace, flight P47536 from Accra, Ghana. We arrived at the Roberts International Airport at 5:35 this evening. Air Peace, flight P47536. We arrived at the Roberts International Airport at 5:35 this evening from Accra, Ghana. And lastly, for arrivals at the Roberts International Airport, we have Kenyan Airways. Kenya Airways, flight KQ508 from Accra, Ghana. We arrive at the Roberts International Airport at 5:40 this evening, concluding the arrivals of flight at the Roberts International Airport. We now move on to departures from the Roberts International Airport. Basically, this morning, Ethiopian Airlines flight ET942 will depart the Roberts International Airport at 11:05 this morning for Addis Ababa. Ethiopian Airlines flight ET942 will depart the Roberts International Airport at 11:05 for Addis Ababa. And lastly, for departures from the Roberts International Airport, we have Kenya Airways. Kenya Airways flight KQ509 will depart the Roberts International Airport at 6:40 for Accra, Ghana. So that does it for the flight schedules. Gasoline and fuel prices still remains the same for several months now. So this is one of the good things that we want to appreciate the government for, for maintaining, the gasoline price on the Liberian market. Likewise, the fuel prices rise as well. So the gasoline price, you have gasoline sold for 805 Liberian dollars, while the fuel oil is sold for 865. So that does it for the update on that end. As usual, we bring you our health tip. This morning, we always love to encourage you to take serious your health, because your health is your wealth. Your health is your wealth. What did I say? Your health is your wealth. So take care of your health. Make sure to do your normal medical checkup. You don't have to feel sick, or you don't have to be bedridden before you think about going to the hospital. It's always good that you check yourself. Yes, go to the hospital. And for those of you who are always in the constant habit of consuming alcohol, you are not doing good to yourself. Make sure, especially those of you who take in the hard substances, yes, the hard alcohol. Hey, please, we are appealing to you. Your health is very important. Your health is very important. Please make sure to desist. We know some of you are lover of this whole thing called energy drink. Let me make you to understand, and let me discourage that other habit of yours. Energy drink is not helping you; it's taking away from you. It makes the heart work over time. It put pressure on your kidney and your liver. It damages them. So please avoid the intake of energy drink. They are not helping you. They are destroying you gradually. And some of you who have turned out to be chemists now, you put a mixture where you put an energy drink, then you put the alcohol there and all the kind of stuff. You are just putting yourself gradually or speedily into the grave. And losing a citizen is not a good thing. So that's why, as a responsible media institution, we take up the time to actually enlighten you on your habits, to avoid these kinds of things. I understand. To avoid these kinds of things so that you live longer. Get these things to be a part of your diet. Get fruits to be a part of your diet. Fruits are very, very much important to the system. I always say to you that you need to get cucumber Eat it as much as you can, most especially those of you who actually, after a hard day of work and you go home, before you get your meal to eat, get a cucumber, slice it, get the tomatoes, yes, the fresh tomatoes, slice it, and you get a stuff of it, eat it. The cucumber will help to help with your digestive process. Yes, the tomatoes, the fresh tomatoes. For those who have, you don't know that you are building cancerous cells. Tomato is very important. It battles a lot of things in the system. So one of those things has to do with cancerous cells. So eating tomatoes, the fresh tomatoes regularly is going to help you. Even the cabbage. You get the cabbage, slice the cabbage, fix that your stuff, man. The cabbage, the carrot, you get to eat these things. And I want to also recommend to you this recipe. Get the coconut water, and squeeze lime into it. Oh man, you taste it. It's very, 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 very number G, Pastor Mel will say. And not just that, it has a lot of health benefits. So get yourself the coconut water and squeeze a lime into it. If you get the lime juice, fine. If you get the the lime itself, you can squeeze a lime into the coconut water and get yourself going. Yes, it's very, very much beneficial to your health. So with that being said, our security alert, we are in the festive season. Be very cognizant that the criminals think very fast than you. If you know you just coming into Monrovia, please let no one tell you that, oh no, this one, no. You need to get all necessary information before coming to Monrovia to purchase. Do not give your money to somebody to go and purchase for you. Say, oh, I get the other place. The criminals will, let's go to the place here. Most especially those of you who go to do exchanging of money. You go change your money. The guys are around. They will give you short money. So the money not correct, instant you give it back. The next thing, they're swapping up your US dollar, your original US dollar to Kada. So get that at the back of your mind. So those of you who love higher rate, you are doing it to the detriment of your own self. Go to a bureau, or the guys who are along the roadside, make sure you observe before going to them. Make sure you observe before going to them. Don't go to a man that just standing by the roadside. He just standing. He doesn't have a box. He's just there, and the higher rate. Do not do business with that person. Yes, your security matters. Okay, we got a lot of things to talk about this morning, so we're going to fast track all of what we've been saying over the time. So now let us move on to our next stop here. Finally, is our simple manner and courtesy. We will always say this: thank you, please. They are all good manners. You ask somebody to do something for you, or somebody have done something for you, show gratitude. Please. You asking for help, please. It can be your child, it can be your friend, or that relationship of yours. Please, not because you and the person so close. Learn to practice. Say chastity, the one you can call charity. No, it's chastity. You chastise somebody, put in that good training. Chastity begins at home and ends abroad. So when you chastise yourself to the habit of saying thanks, saying please, you will take it outside. So train the children in that form and manner. Even you yourself. You ask somebody to do something for you. Maybe the person, was not capacitated in that form and manner to do what you actually asked them to do for you, but they actually try in doing it. firstly appreciate the person. Say, oh, thank you so much, though I needed more or I needed this, but at least I appreciate you for your efforts. It can be your child, your friend, your whoever. Show gratitude. Gratitude pays. Yes, gratitude pays. So let us show gratitude for things that people do for us. Let's take, for instance, if you get in the company of people, you just arriving, the first thing you do, you greet the people that are there. Greet the people. Yes. Some of us, we are so, careless in these kinds of things. You are not better than those that are seated down there. Neither they are. But we are building relationship. That cordiality. Just by you greeting people, your first appearance at that place, the way in which you greet the people, it gives that openness. So maybe you have some doubt about something, and when you arrive at the place, you did not greet anybody, so you went passing, looking all around. You will feel so embarrassed to ask somebody to show you the way, because when you first arrived, you did not greet them. But if you went to that place, oh, yeah, morning, or good afternoon, the first thing, you have created that bond with the people. So you have that free mind to ask questions. Oh, please help me, man. I'm looking for this person, or I'm looking for this place. They will open up to you and show you the way. So greetings is very important. You get in the car. People are already seated in the car. And you got in the car, the first thing you do, you greet them. When you took your seat already, you greet them. My people, your money, oh, good afternoon. Yes. Right there, you have created a bond. So if there's any conversation in the car, and people will be free to actually interact with you. Now, you have reached your destination. Though you are paying the man. But guess what? Oh, thank you. You get down. It shows the level of respect you have. It shows that level of humanity that you carry in you. Some of you too pompous. You get in the car, you don't speak to people. You're getting down from the car. You don't even extend that gratitude. Yes, the man need your money, and you needed his services. But at the end of the day, in conclusion of that interaction, be grateful. Thank you. Thank you so much for the ride. I appreciate that. I appreciate the ride. And, like that, it's going to be perfect. So with that being said, let's go for our next commercial commitment. When we come back, we will read you the press release. Yes, we will read you the press release from the Liberian National Police. Yeah, the Liberian National Police is out with a press release concerning yesterday's protest. So let's go for a commercial commitment to be right back.
Yeah.
Liberia, are you ready? Your chance to turn small money into big winnings is here. It's the NLA 590 Lotto, powered by Blue Star Lotto. 5 balls out of 90. Match your numbers, win instantly. From Monday to Saturday, we draw twice daily to double your chances. The diamond draw is at 2 p.m. while the gold draw is at 8:30 p.m. To play is very easy. Visit any of our point of sales agents near you. Play for as low as 50 Liberian dollars. Pick up your numbers from 1 to 90. Your printed ticket is your key to cash. Just a reminder, when you win, cash out fast through Momo Money or Orange Money. Or better still, visit us at 18th Street, Cinco, 4th floor, Amal Building, Monrovia, Liberia. This is your time to shine. Play today because luck might be calling your name. Not just that, Blue Star Lotto is now recruiting POS agents nationwide. Isn't that a good news? Join us and be part of Liberia's growing lottery network. Call us on +231 888 001151 or +231 778 001151. Once again, call us on +231 888 001151 or +231 778-001151. NLA 590 Lotto. Play to win. Numbers are everywhere.
Dear Christmas Baker, the other holiday, I know plenty tea, I know play talk, I know no kini, I just want my DSTV.
Whatever your wish is this holiday season, get all you want from the latest series like Taxi and Mothers of the Bride, movies and kids favorite for only $25 and get a full kit in 1 month subscription for free. To buy, pay or reconnect, dial *156# on Lone Star or *144# on Orange. For more information, call +231 777 510 753 or +231 886 510 753.
Ba, what is making your face sour again today? Ba, I'm supposed to pay my landlord today, but I forget today last Saturday and the bank is closed soon. But a big problem, oh. But in Losta said MTN mobile money get push and pull service. Oh yeah, oh. I can withdraw the money from my bank account to my mobile money account and pay my landlord in 5 minutes. Thank you, Jojo, thank you.
Banking with any of these banks: GT Bank, UBA Bank, Access Bank, Echo Bank, LBDR, IB Bank, Afriland Bank, or Global Bank. Simply visit the bank and request to link your bank account to your mobile money account. Get access to your money whenever you need it without any headache. It only takes 3 minutes. More, whenever, wherever.
MTN.
Okay, after the commercial commitment, and we want to say to you out there, for those of you who have businesses, we can advertise the goods and services for you on our platform and for a very affordable price. So let's now move on to the press release issued on yesterday by the Liberia National Police. So it says LNP condemns protest violence, names 3 persons of interest. Monrovia, Liberia, December 17, 2025. The Liberia National Police, the LNP, acknowledges the constitutional rights of all citizens to peacefully assemble and exercise or express. Let's get it straight. It says the Liberia National Police acknowledges the constitutional rights of all citizens to peacefully assemble and expression and reiterate its commitment to facilitating lawful protests in a manner that protects public safety and demonstrates freedom or democratic freedom. However, the LNP strongly condemns the acts of violence that occurred during yesterday's, that was on yesterday, so we put it in today's case, but verbatimly it says, however, the LNP strongly condemns the act of violence that occurred during today's protests, which undermine public order, endanger lives and property, and diverted the protest from its lawful and peaceful purpose. Violence. It says violence, intimidation, and destruction of properties are inconsistent with democratic engagement and will not be tolerated. All right. It went on to say, as part of a professional, evidence-based, and impartial investigation. Oh my God, the stuff I'm reading from, there are a lot of distraction here. So it says, as part of a professional, evidence-based, and impartial investigation, the Liberia National Police has identified Mr. Moba Malu, Mr. Alvin Wise, and Achi Pompon as persons of interest in relations to the violent incidents. The LNP respectfully requests that these individuals report to the Central Police Headquarters in Monrovia to assist with the ongoing investigation. failure to comply with this lawful request will compel the Liberian National Police to exercise its statutory authority to effect arrests consistent with due process and the laws of the Republic of Liberia. The Liberian National Police assures the public that this matter is being handled with restraint, proportionality, and respect for human rights, broader institutional commitment to accountability, transparency, and community trust. The LNP calls on all citizens, organizers, and stakeholders to continue engaging peacefully and responsibly, especially during this festive season, as the police work to ensure a safe, secure, and stable environment for all. Signed, DCP Cecilia G. Clark, spokesperson, Liberian National Police. So that's the press release from the Liberian National Police regarding yesterday's protests. So on yesterday, and that was posted just after the protest, few hours. At the same time, we also saw a podcast lit yesterday evening by Mr. Moba Molu, the head of STAN, who's one of the persons of interest. He came up to actually on his personal social media handle, and he made a podcast accusing the Liberian National Police of shooting live bullets at his house. And he came up with an eyewitness. So let us get the account of Mr. Molu. Then we tend to actually analyze and allow you, the public, to weigh in on what you observe and your own kind of opinion on yesterday's protest. So let's listen to Mr. Moba Molu.
At my residence, after the conduct of the lead protest that was held today at the executive mansion. And as a matter of fact, I am speaking from my residence in Congo Town. This is where I stay. So I'm now in a hideout. And this is intended to inform the police that despite the fact that they are seeking to harm protesters, they continue to escalate tension, brutalize citizens, arbitrarily arrest peaceful protesters. And as we speak, we got close to 15 persons now being held against their will, arrested arbitrarily, not for breaking laws, but by simply turning out to peacefully protest. They have been arrested and are in detention at the Liberian National Police headquarters. So after the protest, I had to make a stopover to conduct a post-protest interview. So which meant I did not come directly at my house. So a lot of our supporters and participants of the protest have come up front. Some came to my house and they were waiting for me. And while they were at my house, members of the Liberian National Police came to my gate and tried to forcibly gain entrance. And then in the processes, they could not gain entrance. There was a discharge of weapon. That is, they fired guns at the house, which created fear and panic. And those that were within the confines of the compound how to use the security gate to escape. Some ran into the swamp, some ran in other directions. helter-skelter. So the essence of this is to give an eyewitness an opportunity to explain exactly what transpired tonight. Because even though I know they're still going to deny and try to lie, and as a matter of fact, there were many eyewitnesses that were here when the police came and discharged a firearm. Without any provocation, they didn't come to arrest anybody. They just drove to the gate, tried to gain forceful entry, and started shooting gun at my residence. So this is the essence of this conversation. I'm now going to give the eyewitness an opportunity to explain exactly what happened tonight at my residence after the lead or leave protest. So you just call your name and you can pick it up from there.
So my name is Aaron Mason. I joined the protest today from Bowman County. When we went to the executive mansion after the police tried to brutalize our people, the youth force on us, some of us were able to make our way out of the scene, and we ran to Jeremiah Hall for rescue. While sitting in the chair, we had a heavy foot of feet sent to the security booth. In the process, they got fired. When he fired, the peacock came with heavy force and came exactly in front of the security booth. Then the single leg of the police vehicle started to blink. But in the process, the security for this yard was enough in the small security booth in there. There where he was. And we were sitting in these chairs, right there. We're sitting in the chair. So when the fire group ran, we all ran at this. So the security guy went down until he saw the left blinking because there's a heavy gate that locked. You know the spine area you can see. So all also the left blinking. The other security guy ran behind me. They start forcing this gate to enter. So I said, security guy, no, we got to go back to properly lock the gate. Because the youth for enter, we know what will happen. We killed the security guy, keep the one we reach here. I still got brother when you stay in bed now, you can see anybody feet outside here. So we saw the black boots, they're all outside here. But I tried to force the security man, keep the iron water was like this. So you have to push it back so you can remain on the lock. In the process, when the other comers from over the fence, they have to the other Omar, other elderly papa, they were your old people here, they have to use the security to on that side to escape the jump in the swamp and other things they escape. So we remain here, well, 4 persons that remain here. After the whole situation, we're afraid. You see me, I can't lead the judge to do for the protest. I have to disguise myself because of fear that the police fire one thing. Up to now, we are afraid to even make our way to go home. And later on in the era, we don't know to barricade the place. They don't want to go by other. So another policeman on motorbike entering motor. I saw him on motorbike entering. He came, slow down, looking from the gate and passed the one again. So there's a situation I took place here. The police came, fire gun in front of the gate. And when they fired the gun, they forcibly tried to open the gate. And the security guy, our king, has stood here because I was so afraid. I saw the blah boots. I had a message that the people here. I said, but they tried to get in there, lock here, and slay to the exact area that he can reach there. So he lay in there, and we all went down. All people jumped over the fence. And the old people that are here, all the people that came with the program, have to use the escape route now, to use the security route to escape into the swamp in other places. I put flare all of this place.
Okay, thank you very much, my brother. So do you feel secure enough to go?
So for that, I may not answer the question because it still brings fear to me. Any attempt to answer what I will go will also give the police a better intent to
I understand that. So the essence of this live podcast is to inform the public about police continuous crackdown, which is creating an escalating tension. And after the protest, you dislodge the protest by shooting tear gas canisters. Today, for the first time since President Boakai was elected, we saw the police display new weapons, new guns. I've never seen weapons of that kind in the country. And so those who are sitting supinely and have built a perception that there is going to be a free and fair 2029 election, this is a real awakening for you. You see how Boakai is fighting to consolidate power. He has become arbitrary and he's been emboldened every time. To today, the deployment of the police force is maximalizes the agenda of this government to use the police as a weaponized instrument of dissent or weaponized instrument of brutality against peaceful protesters. If they can do this today against peaceful protesters who were simply calling bracket to attention because of the egregious commission of crimes or corruption, abuse of the rule of law, raping teenagers with impunity, the escalation in the drug campaign, which is being credited to government officials, to quote the Independent Human Rights Commission and an official of the very Drug Enforcement Agency. And these escalations created a basis for protest. And we're not going to apologize for this. And we will do it as many times as possible. But you saw how the police was deployed to harm peaceful protesters, to crack down on peaceful or civil dissent, and to create a climate of fear. So if these things are happening 4 years outside election cycle, think about what will happen in the election cycle. So Wackett is determined to keep weaponizing the police under a brutal police bandit called Gregory Coleman, who just visited Rwanda and also visited Sierra Leone, trying to lobby arms and ammunition and crowd suppression instruments against peaceful citizens. They are preparing to maximally weaponize these security institutions to retain political power. So if we don't stand down, if we don't keep sounding the alarm, if we don't keep creating the basis for public or civil education against the congregation of extreme security sector mechanism against peaceful dissent, there's not going to be time for the now free and fair election. Working with simply, it's going to be a walk in the park for them. And it's going to be too late for you to do anything about that. So it's time to stand up and fight. But that's what we're fighting by peacefully, respecting the rule of law, and ensuring that we will not be afraid. And no matter how much police power is deployed in the streets of Monrovia or in its environs. Now, as I speak to you, we got people languishing beyond bounds that were arrested with impunity. More than 15 persons. Even the pickup, the truck today that was used as our public relations platform was seized several times, released when public, when the people raised alarm, they will release it. We need to seize it again. As we speak, it was seized and impounded at the Liberia National Police Headquarters. The driver arrested, and close between anywhere from 11 to 15 persons have been arrested. They are in jail at the police headquarters. We issue a statement calling on the police to release them because they've done nothing wrong other than participating in a peaceful protest. It was a very peaceful, law-abiding process until the police deployed tear gas canisters and were prepared to deploy guns. If we are still there longer than necessary, they would have opened guns on peaceful protesters. So this is a wake-up call to other folks. The police is prepared to maximize the barrel of the gun, tear gas canisters, and other crowd suppression mechanism to consolidate power and prevent the freedom to assemble, freedom of speech, and free and fair election.
So you listen to Mr. Molu's podcast he had just after the police have come up with a press release stating him as one of the persons of interest. They have three individuals: Achi Pompon, Mobake Molu, and Alvin Wiset. So here we are this morning. Some of you had the opportunity to get a glance of the entire process of the protest on yesterday. You saw the numbers, you saw the commitment of the people who turned out, and it started on a very firm footing, and they paraded the principal streets of Tottenham Boulevard onto the mansion, the entrance of the mansion, where they were prevented by the state security, the joint security. For a couple of hours, we were there and we witnessed from the initial, they tried to force their way, and there was this blockage, look, and they took on to the road, preventing vehicles that were coming from the Cinco side heading towards town. They were no longer using the main route, but the police managed to have this detour into the compounds of the University of Liberia head on. You get outside from the main entrance, and those that were coming from central town, they had access to the University of Liberia and somehow access to the Jalatown route. But there was a very huge traffic congestion while the protest was in sight, right? So later on, around 3:30, we noticed that violence ensued on the throwing of stones began, and some folks from the Capitol building, yes, some folks from the Capitol building began to throw stones, and those protesters also had to retaliate, and they did. So there where this throwing of stones started from. Later on, it subsided. The police put everything under control thanks to the securities who are at the Capitol. That's the Capitol building. The Capitol building security were able to get those workers back into to the premises and not to stand along the fence, because there where the issue started and the throwing of stones started from. While we were in discharge of our duty, we saw the protesters. They began to put their parts, the core parts, and putting all of the late ingredients and things in the pot to cook. And this is how the police began to prevent them from doing such, especially at the entrance of the executive mansion. So they told them, look, you cannot do this here on the road. You need to actually get these things off. And those things were taken off forcibly. Some of those things were confiscated by the police, like the vehicle, the truck that carries the PA system and all the kind of stuff. Later on, we saw the truck driven towards the mansion side, because that is you can use that side to go to the police headquarters from the back. So those things were confiscated. At about 4 o'clock, before 4 o'clock, one of the senior police officers came to Mobile Malu and told him, look, at 4 o'clock, we will actually ask that you leave the streets so that people can have movement and all that kind of stuff. So with that being said, after the hour, 4 o'clock on the dot, the police started to move the guys from the street. And when they were pulled behind, they started to throw stones. Stones were being thrown. There were a lot of urine placed in bottle, all kinds of stuff, man. So it was like fit help the body. We saw the likes of Avin Wiesel, we saw the likes of Moba Malu and others who were there, and there were other arrests being made. Some of the guys, they got involved into sarcastic remarks. Some were also engaging into some other issues that were not meant for the protests, because we say peaceful assembly. So just in that time, when arrests were made, we were able to see females being arrested, males as well. And the protesting crowd were dispersed. We could no longer see them on the main Tottenham Boulevard, where up Capitol Hill. Later on, we learned that they fled the scene and went down the Jalatan end there. Only to have received reports, and we went on the scene, we saw a lot of vehicles broken into, especially government vehicle. One white government vehicle was broken into, properties were damaged, and all kind of stuff. So, with the police coming up with a press release calling on Mr. Moba Malu, Archie Pompon, and Alvin Wise as persons of interest, what we think here is so befitting that the three individuals turn themselves over to aid in the process of the investigation, because there were a lot of things that went on. The police, in her press release, stated a lot of issues, threatening of lives, vandalizing people, property, and so forth. So with that, we want to hear from you, those of you who are listening. What is your take? What you learned from yesterday's protests? The protesters, this was one of the most publicized protest action. Yes. We were way in October when we heard about there was this continuous promotion of the planned December 17 protests. We had a lot of opposition leaders also speaking about it. Yesterday, we saw the turnout. It was not as what it were when Stan came into being for the very first time. The numbers that she pulled, the numbers were not at compared to what yesterday was. But it's not about the number. It's about the people commitment to the process, how committed they were, to the process. They believe that the government is now working in the interest of the citizens. So that's why they took out to the street. Should we say they were wrong? No, they were not wrong. They have their constitutional rights. They went to exercise their constitutional right. Places that they breached their constitutional rights is where we frown at the violence act and all those things that were not part as the Constitution calls for, So the police is now calling on these individuals to turn themselves over, or according to the law, they will put out an arrest for them. So Moba Molu said police officers went to his house last night and they fired live bullets and all those things. And one of the persons he used to testify on yesterday, there are footages. I personally also saw him. He was part of the protest on yesterday, for which he admitted. And moving on, I think Mr. Molu, what he should have done to actually verify his claim to have gone out to other community dwellers, because he said in his words that police fire live bullets at his home. So go in the community, get to have the podcast with the community dwellers. Last night, there was this incident that took place at my residence. Did you hear anything like a gun firing or so? Then that will verify or, authenticate your claims. So getting another man who is also a part, or who was also a part of the protests to testify on such. And one of the things that did happen in Mr. Molu's session, which of course he did not do for analysis, he did not do well. Because they said there were several people in the yard, and based on that, the engagement of the police or the firing at the home, they fled the yard and they used the swamp. Where were those people after the incident subsided? You came out to have the podcast right in the yard. Why didn't you bring these people to testify? Oh yes, we were the ones, but just an individual who did not flee the scene, but he came out to testify. But whatever it is, you are the judges. You are listening. What is your take? What is your take on the issue on yesterday? And we will also come out to give our own take as it relates to other things that we saw firsthand while the protests went on. 0887 105 105 0778 665 to substantiate the claim of Mr. Malu. Yesterday, he also made mention of new arms in the hands of the police officers. Yes, we did see that. New arms, tear gas weapons were in the hands of our police officers yesterday. That was my first time seeing such weapons. They were new, brand new weapons. So it's in order to beef up the police resilience in terms of protestation and all kind of stuff. But who knows? But let us get to hear from you. 0887 105 105 0778 665 073 are the numbers to call this morning and form part of the program. What do you make of yesterday's protests by these 10 and its collaborating protesters? The lead or leave protest was on yesterday, was held. Was it successful, or what is your own take? Let's get to hear from you. Moving out to the line and talk to this person. Good morning.
Good morning.
What is your name and you join us from where?
I'm Pajibo calling from the borough of Newcastle.
Pachibo, let's hear you.
Yeah, thank you very much for your topic and discussion. To protest in Liberia or to protest in a democratic country is not a bad thing, but the manner and form which that protest will be done. And for the look of things yesterday, these people don't seem to be like a protester. They have inner motive, try to destabilize the country, and we continue having these kind of issues in our country. They will make the country trying to put things together, and they are just there trying to confuse everybody. We can't be confused anymore. We know what we want in the country. Liberia is for each and every one of us. So we should guard and protect Liberia justly. Not to be going about forming a political party in the same pressure group. Nobody need to be arrested. They don't need here economics. They need to be put beyond bars. But they serve in the country yesterday. Look at all the things they destroy in the country here. We got to deter people from these habits. Thank you very much.
0778 665, that's 0778 665 073, 0778 665 073, 0887 105 105 are numbers to call this morning and form part of the Positive Show right here on Love FM 105.1. What you made of yesterday's protest action by STAN and collaborating parties? According to Mr. Malu, the aim and objective, quite interesting, were met. It was peaceful in his words. He said the protest was very peaceful until the police came out with brutality. And he said a lot that you did listen to. So what you make of it? The police have now come up with a press release calling on singling out three individuals to aid in an investigation that is being conducted by the police from yesterday's protests. So what is your own take this morning? Let's hear you. 0887 105 105 0778 665 073 are the numbers to call. You know, there are a lot more that we learn from the protests on yesterday. As a journalist who was actually on the scene from start to finish, there were a lot I learned. You know, over the period of time, we've been seeing protest actions. We've been seeing people carrying on their civil duties as required by the Constitution. We saw a huge crowd. We saw the contestation from protest to another protest, who pulled the crowd, who did this, who did that. But yesterday, we saw with the level of publicity carried out by STAN and other collaborating members, we did not expect such a number. We expected a very huge number to have turned out on yesterday. But this brings us to the point that we also look in another direction, that is not only about the number, but the committed ones who actually took up to the streets on yesterday to call on the leadership on things that they feel that is not going on right in the country. Do they have their right to do so? Yes, constitutionally, they have rights to call on their leaders, but there are limits. Like we always say, in human rights, they say where your right ends is where someone own begins. Did the guys step the bounds on yesterday with all of the rights afforded them? Did they step the bounds by vandalizing people property, bursting public vehicles, like we saw government vehicles being burst into, belongings taken away, and there are a lot. And mind you, proud to that, Mr. Malu made a statement, and we talk about it prior to the process on yesterday. He said he accused the government of planting people amongst them to carry on what he called the burning down of police stations, destroying of properties, and so forth. So he said in his word, they were aware, and they only want the public to know that at the end of the day, so that the police cannot come up to shift blame on them, or the government cannot come out to shift blame on them, to say, hey, look, it was because of you that the other property got damaged, police stations got burned, and properties, and stuff like that. Only to have come on yesterday, when the guys were being dispersed, we saw another action, in similarity to a statement made by Mr. Malu. So what's your take on that? Let's get it. 0887-105-105-0778-665-073. Let me play for you the statement that Mr. Malu made prior to the protest on yesterday. Yes, he made a press statement prior to the day of the protest. So let's see if we can get that statement played here this morning for your hearing. Let's get back to see if we can get it out this morning. But your calls are anticipated on 0887-105-105-0778-665-073. Numbers to call this morning and form part of the Positive Show right here on Love FM 105.1 0778 665-073. Let's listen to Mr. Malu, his initial statement prior to the protest on yesterday. He had a press conference when the police came up. Let's get to the line and talk to this person. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Your name and you join us from where?
My name is Bian Sali, and I do join you from Bapolo County.
Bian, let's hear you.
Yeah, thank you for the topic of the discussion this morning, brother. You see, those guys, I don't know, they're not like for development to come in Labrador. While they know it, and the government is trying to do it, so that we're helping them. Molu, but now, they will be arrested and put behind bars. And I'm sure what you come on want to do that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So let's hear the protest message Mr. Malu had prior to yesterday. The police, he came out with this message when the police actually came out with a press release making the grounds of the executive mansion a no-go zone for protesters. So this was what Mr. Malu had to say prior to yesterday's protest.
Not a protest ground. The branch of the government that put out that fallacious information, sorry, ought to know that there is a historical context to the convergence of people at the executive mansion. 1980, March 7, the People's Progressive Party conducted a maid-led march at the executive mansion premises. 1980 May, students from different academic institutions converged at the executive mansion to demand of the military government then to the barracks. 2003 April, women movements, different women groupings had a peaceful assembly at the executive mansion to demand a restoration of peace and democracy, and to demand that different political actors take very seriously the imperative of initiated peace, to put the history of war beyond, and to initiate or to initialize plans towards democratic governance. That was 2003 at the executive mansion, a march that was conducted or carried out by different women groupings. During the tenure of former President Weah, on June 7, 2019, the Council of Patriots also conducted a march that was premised at the executive mansion. That convergence was held at the executive mansion, and even President Barker, who was then in the opposition, was an attendant of that march. Then subsequently, in 2020, the City Council of Patriots also carried out a march at the premises of the executive mansion. In fact, they didn't just march, it was not just a convergence to demonstrate grievances or to demonstrate displeasure against what they termed as actions incompatible to democratic governance, but they also cook at the executive mansion. They paraded cooking pots, they paraded plates, spoons. It was a cooking ground, and all the major actors, or almost all the major actors today that are trying to stifle freedom of speech, stifle freedom of assembly, were in attendance at the executive mansion. Of most recent, there was the conduct of the No to Drugs rally, which we supported, and we will support 1,000 times over, because it was conducted in the best direction, and it is very clear that that march was conducted at the premises of the executive mansion, which is quite recent. So this historical context debunks the insinuation or the suggestion by state actors that the executive mansion is out of bounds for the conduct of peaceful, democratic, or political exercises. Not just that there's a historical context that supports our convergence of the assembly at the executive mansion on Wednesday, December 17th, but besides the precedence debate, it is also legal. The executive mansion is the property of the people, and the expanse between the Capitol building and the executive mansion is open to the public. And based on the historical context and historical precedents characterizing convergence of thousands of people at different historical dispensations, it is unthinkable. In fact, it is completely absurd and preposterous that anyone would want to prevent the rights of the people from being demonstrated at the executive mansion. So it is historically proven, it is precedented, it is constitutional, because the Constitution of Liberia clearly supports all citizens being free to assemble anywhere within the confines of the Republic when their safety, when their peace and safety, or the peace and security of those citizens required that action. Well, at this point, the peace, the security, the safety of the Liberian people in the hundreds of thousands, if not millions, require that there is a mass convergence, a mass assembly, a mass exodus of Liberians toward the center of gravity being the executive mansion. So it is constitutional, it is validated by a constitutional clause that supports that convergence. Not just that, there is no threat to national security. Any counter-security debate that government will want to utilize or arm itself with as a basis for denying Liberians the right to assemble at the mansion is simply non-existent. By virtue of the fact that the Ministry of Justice wrote the Solidarity and Trust for New Day stand and protest collaborators or the protest coalition, commending us, congratulating us for the orderly and the peaceful manner with which the July 17th protest was conducted, clearly dramatizes that it is needless to be frightened, it's needless to argue or to speculate that there will be anything dramatically insecure about that December 17th process, except if government has a draconian or subterranean agenda to be disruptive, to be violent, to be brutal against the convergence of peaceful Liberians that are simply staging a not violent resistance against ills of our society, against actions that we consider clear and present danger to the democracy of the Liberian state and to our participation as a people. So we have always been peaceful. The government has commended us for being very peaceful and orderly in the conduct of the July 17th peaceful protest, which predates the December 17th protest, which by virtue of the fact that we were peaceful on July 17th, despite different levels of provocation by the government of Liberia, despite the demonstrated banditry of the police force that remains very much armed and mobilized to initiate violence against people based on its history of bloodbath against peaceful citizens, we remain peaceful. And we will always be peaceful, and we will never be the initiators of violence. Still, and all the protest collaborators are agents of change. We are a law-based public institution, civil institution that is fighting for the good of our republic. So as such, there is no basis whatsoever, be it legal, be it security, be it historical, be it moral, that would deny us the use of the executive mansion premises that has been used by other groupings long before us, including a midnight march that was conducted by the Progressive People's Party in 1980, March 7, midnight. So if the security apparatus that was militarized then, if I was a military junta, who has accommodated protesters converging under the cover of darkness, 1980, when the PRC government was somewhere though had just taken power, it was a military junta, a militarized governance system, but yet they allowed the conduct of a midnight march. Then it is preposterous and inconceivable that President Boakai will attempt to stifle freedom of assembly or to stifle the rest of Liberia to peacefully converge for the collective good. So with that said, we can challenge the government that it has no moral, statutory, constitutional, or historical basis to deny us the use of that premises that were used by the Say No to Drugs ralliers, or used by students in 1980, or used by a political party in 1980, or used by women protesters in 2003. Within that context, we will be outside on December 17th at the premises of the executive mansion. We are hearing that the police is already mobilizing to cause mayhem, to cause harm, to inflict casualties on peaceful civilians, and to inflict possible bloodbath. We are even hearing that state actors or state agents are determined, armed with a draconian motive, to bring down state institutions, to bring down police stations, and place the blame on members of STEM or collaborators of the December 17th peaceful protest. We are a clean civil society institution. Our collaborators are peaceful. We are peaceful. We do not have any reason to attack government institutions, to attack government facilities, to attack police officers. We are coming out peacefully, and we will be peaceful, and will not be ones that we initiate.
So you listen to Moba Molu pre conference he held before yesterday's protest. You listen to him, the government operatives have actually, he had an intel that government operatives are planning to put people amongst them to destroy public facilities, burn down police stations, and so forth. Yesterday, when the crowd were being dispersed after 4, there were a lot of issues that went on. People vandalized private vehicles, government vehicles, and so forth. But based on that, there are a lot of things that went on as well. So the police came up now with a press release for which I'm about to read for the second time. Monrovia, Liberia, December 17, 2025. The Liberia National Police acknowledges the constitutional rights of all citizens to peacefully assemble and expression, and reiterates its commitment to facilitating lawful protests in a manner that protects public safety and democratic freedoms. However, the LMP strongly condemns the acts of violence that occurred during today's protest that was on yesterday. This press release was given, which undermined public order, endangered lives and property, and diverted the protest from its lawful and peaceful purpose. Distraction. It says, however, the LMP strongly condemns the acts of violence that occurred during today's protest, which undermined public order, endangered lives and property, and diverted the protest from its lawful and peaceful purpose. Violence, intimidation, and destruction of property are inconsistent with democratic engagement and will not be tolerated. As part of the professional, evidence-based, and impartial investigation, the Liberia National Police has identified Mr. Moba Molu, Mr. Avin Wise, and Achi Pompon as persons of interest in relations to the violent incidents. The LMP respectfully requests that these individuals report to the Central Police Headquarters in Monrovia to assist with the ongoing investigation. Failure to comply with this lawful request will compel the Liberia National Police to exercise its statutory authority to effect arrests consistent with due process and the laws of the Republic of Liberia. The Liberia National Police assurance, it says, it reassures the public that this matter is being handled with restraint, proportionality, and respect for human rights. Broader institutional commitment to accountability, transparency, and community trusts. The LMP calls on all citizens, organizers, and stakeholders to continue engaging peacefully and responsibly, especially during these festive seasons, as the police work to ensure a safe, secure, and stable environment for all. Signed, DCP Cecilia G. Clark, spokesperson, Liberia National Police. So, Mr. Molu, Avin Wise, and Achi Pompon are persons of interest to aid in investigation that is being carried out by the Liberian National Police. As you know, there were several individuals arrested on yesterday. So let's see. Mr. Molu had on his personal page names of individuals that were arrested by the Liberian National Police. So let's see if we can get that quickly for you. Yes, let's see if we can get that quickly for you. Okay, so this is what Mr. Molu had to say in this readout. He said, we demand the immediate and unconditional release of these citizens illegally seized and detained by the Liberian National Police with no lawful basis. These are innocent people. Their arrest is brazen assault on constitutional rights and an open crackdown on peaceful assembly. We further demand the immediate release of our PA system driver and the return of the vehicle unlawfully impounded at the Liberian National Police headquarters. Peaceful protest is not a crime. What is criminal is a government that responds to citizens' dissent with arrests, intimidation, and repression. The Bouaka-led government is dragging Liberia towards putting, he says, the Bouaka-led government is dragging Liberia backward, putting our democracy and fundamental freedom under siege. This lawfulness must end now. Unlawfully detained citizens include Fred D. Weir, Tuki Sware, Otis Yampa, Kai Dane, Madia James, Thomas Bryant, Teresa Sumo, Harrison J. Kwekwe, Luce Slobert, Destiny Watto, and Lasana Kuba. Release them now, he says. The world is watching. Mobake Molu Jr. So you listen to Moba Molu and you listen to the press release of the Liberian National Police. So having we said Mobake Molu and Archie Pompon are persons of interest to aid in investigation that is being conducted by the Liberian National Police for the disturbance, as they put it, and damaging of properties. So what have you to say this morning? 0778 665 073 105 105. Numbers to call and form part of the program. Like I said to you on yesterday, we were at the protest from the morning hours up to the end of the protest when heads are scattered. It was interesting to know that we saw the police parading with the protesters. It started on a very firm footing. They moved from Moba Molu's Congo Town resident, went as far as the Unity Party headquarters, turned around, and then headed towards the executive mansion. And all through that, the police were guarding them in the process. They took one side of the road, which has to do with the lane that leads towards town. And they were guarded by the police. We experienced traffic congestions on yesterday. And reaching towards the mansion right before the University of Liberia and that of the Foreign Affairs Ministry, consultation was made by Mr. Molu and his team. Let's get to the line and talk to this person. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, good morning.
How are you? What's your name and you join us from where?
Thank you, Mr. Manager. Compliment speaking.
Many happy returns. What's your name?
Yeah, Abu Abel, for the branch of the moment.
Oh, let's hear you, Abu.
I thank you very much for bringing everything to us. Well, Mr. Manager, It's so unfortunate. This country for every one of us. And you put it correctly. The police own obligation to protect the citizen race, life, and property. Equally true, the citizen have the right to protest. But if protest too, what you own the right, right?
As well,
Not
so
only right begin from there.
yeah.
Yesterday, we not go to our only for my President How good I was trying to tell the data, the data rule. And they said because we are disabled, look at our daily bread. So destroy the protester, they keep down Galatan. Now it's when I get rock. I told myself, hey, go back. I see all the way coming down to Church Street. There was someone else staying in that community. And the government can't see the word bossy. What's the word, man? Why we learn all to this? Everything in the country must be government protest. And you have to put my to the protester. All the way from all to Malamu state office. The night will have few handful of guys. They went all the way because they see that nobody turning up, nobody going there. So they continue to call mayhem to put down on this country. And for me, last year, Malamu was saying that, and we know that government planning people against us. Oh, yeah, if you know that you show the people are government plan against you to do it. If you anything happened on potential going to yesterday, people wanted our school yesterday, but I believe them pay for their time with the 7 to win. But if we are disabled people, they will go maybe somewhere, they know what we're responsible to pay. That's your too much country, bro. You have the right to prepare for them, wear peaceful placard. You say you talk in mad yesterday, the president of Papa is two different things. What will you go to other property? I tell you, when I like when they were all of that, the other room, that's people car. What we see? For what? So the peaceful property together. It's just too much to go out to otherwise they will not go out to import to bring food all the measures you are still for a county rule. This is what I put to do some others in the world. You want to get it better for the presidency? Thank you very much. Thank you, bro.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You see, these are some of the things that actually happened on yesterday. From yesterday's protests, there were a lot of opportunities stored by protesters when the whole protest became sour. You know, an eyewitness, he mentioned that vehicles were vandalized on yesterday. Properties were being destroyed by the protesters when they were asked to leave the streets. And mind you, he also made mention in his distress based on the attitude of the protesters on yesterday. There were people who planned to have actually given them, you know, their little daily bread for the festive season. But all those things were put on hold because of the demonstration, the protest action on yesterday. So let us read for you Article 17 of the Liberian Constitution, for which is the basis. Mr. Molu and his team actually came up and said, hey, look, yes, you know, we have our constitutional right, and this is this, and this is that. So here is it. This is the Article 17 of the Liberian Constitution, guarantees the fundamental rights of peaceful assembly, association, and petition, allowing all people to gather, consult, and on common good, instruct representatives, and petition the government for grievances, while also enabling free association in groups like political parties or unions, emphasizing orderly conduct and non-violence. So key provision of Article 17 has to do with rights to assembly. So rights to assemble. The question here is, were they given the right to assemble? So the right to assemble, it says, everyone has the right to assemble in an orderly and peaceful way. Were the protesters given the opportunity to assemble peacefully? You have the answer to that. I cannot come up to that. Consultation. People can consult together for the common good. That's one of the provision within Article 17. Another provision has to do, it says, instruct representatives. Citizens can instruct their elected officials Citizens can instruct their elected officials. Citizens can instruct their elected officials. So this is it. We move on to the next one. It's a petitioning the government. The right to petition for the redress of grievances is protected. Were they protected on yesterday as they expressed their grievances? Well, you have the answer to that. Freedom of association. Individuals can freely associate or refuse to associate in political parties, trade unions, and other organizations. So another context and important one we want to bring to you is a democratic cornerstone. Article 17 is vital to public discourse, accountability, and holding the government responsible. Peaceful conduct. It emphasizes peaceful assembly, distinguishing it from hooliganism or destruction, requiring balance with public order and limitation. It says any restriction on these rights must be constitutional, typically requiring a declared state of emergency approved by the legislature according to this analysis. So let's understand now, were they given the rights? Yes. Were they able to now get more of your views? 0887 105 105 0778 6650. To aid the police in the investigation. So the police have put up a press release and calling on them to turn themselves over to aid in the investigation, or else the rule of law will take its course and they will carry on an arrest. They gave them the opportunity now to turn themselves over, or they will put out a marathon for them to arrest them. So what's your take? And another thing that I learned from the protest on yesterday, Liberians are gradually transforming their minds. The minds are in a positive direction, right? So now let's understand. Going back to pre-war status in terms of elections, in this country, we know that back in the days, people were driven to elections, voting people up because of rice and money. But we saw the 2000, from the 1997 election, upward to the 2000s, and you just go about all of the elections we've had. Doing a comparative analysis, you understand that there were several changes made. The 2005 election, no, not 2005, but the 2017 election, people were no longer going after t-shirts. People were no longer going after rice. They were looking at tangibles. What is your impact in the society? What impact you've made in the society? Those were things that people were looking at. People were disenchanted based on the leadership inability to meet the needs of the masses. So upon that, you have people voting. We saw senatorial elections. People voted angrily because the way in which things went. Now, the 2023 election, it came with a different style and a different mentality. And you and I know. Now, understanding that back in the time, You will have people calling political parties. You have civil society groupings calling for protestation. And you will see mass turnout. You will see mass turnout. And for that basis, you had a lot more said, a lot more done. This was a most publicized protest. Only to have seen the turnout on yesterday, it shows that the minds of the people are developing. That's why I always say, when the minds are developed, the eyes will appreciate the works of the hands. So the Liberian people are no longer gravitating to, that kind of loyalty in a sense. Oh, yes, because this man is vocal or this man is this. So whatever he says or whatever he wants us to do, we will get to do it. Regardless if even good things are happening for us, we will get in the street to demonstrate, to show, strength, political strength and all kinds of things. People are no longer looking in that direction in the mass. We still have a lot to do. Now, let us come to the governance process. Are the people at the helm of power proceeding well? To an extent, there are lapses. And these lapses in comparative analysis, when you try to compare the lapses to that of the gains made, they are incomparable. So that should not be a foundation for the present leadership to say, oh yeah, everything is rosy. No, all is not rosy. There are a series of things that you need to right. The wrongs, you need to turn them into right. In terms of the justice, in terms of the provision, education, health, there are lots more that you need to do. And that's what when I sit here, I always say this. We need to focus on the renewing of the minds. Education pays. When the people are educated, what happens? It gave them the open mind to make sound decisions. That's what I always come up to lash at my colleagues. And some of us who think that we can use the media to abuse the minds of the people to turn against the leaders. Now, let us not use our platforms to misinform the people, or because of our personal aggrandizement, or because I'm not associated with the power that be, so I must do everything to bring them down. Let us stop that. We must develop that sense of patriotism and nationalism. We must be able, when the wrong things are done, we speak about it and make the necessary recommendation. When the good things are done, we should also flag it. No one is saying that you should be a praise singer. But the fact remains, in this country, what we have seen over the years, for the 20 plus years we've been in the media have come to a point where most of our colleagues and even the society at large, when you are not vocal in a ruling manner, the leaders don't look your way. The leaders don't value your input. But if you are very abusive, you are very antagonistic, these are the kinds of people, our leaders of today. Our leaders is not only this leadership, but leadership of yesterday and up to today. These are people they associate with. These are people they gave listening ears to. And that won't give some of us who have learned over the period of time and have that simple manners and courtesy to sit on public platform and denigrate our hard-earned integrity. The morals of the society must be upheld to every extent. So the morals of the society is broken, all because of people personal aggrandizement. I sit on the radio here and I talk from morning to evening, and people are now actually looking my way, and because I'm saying things and putting people on track, and they are not really dignifying it. So I want that attention. I must do unorthodox things so that people can get the attention driven to me. No. Even at this present state, there are a lot of the people who sits on the radio and use invectives and say the worst thing about the leaders, even when the good things are done. These same leaders are going undercover, reaching out to these people. How can we change the narrative when we ourselves, because most of them, they are corrupt in their deeds, they are corrupt in their actions, because the man feels that he feels insecure and knows that he's not doing the right thing, but because he wants to be shielded and protected, so he goes undercover and induce these people who come up vocal with information on them in a ruling manner, induce them with cash and opportunities so that they cannot bank on them and expose their deeds. But you who sit on the radio and come up with analysis, sit on the radio and point out the ills and make recommendations for transformation because of a national cause and your sense of patriotism and nationalism, you're not regarded. That won't actually sway some of us attention. We will continue to do what we do and doing it to the best of our ability. So help us God. So now politicians, civil society groupings have now turned out and gravitated to that direction. You must be vocal. You must be violent. That's the only way your leaders can listen to your plight. This is not the way. This is not the way to proceed. We are in the 21st century in one of the oldest African countries where we continue to do one thing and expect different results. For every time we go to do this thing, bring about violence, and there's no change. How? We expect change when we're doing one thing and it's not yielding the fruitful result, but yet still we get to do it. This protest on yesterday should serve as an eye-opener for the present leadership, and it should serve as an eye-opener for would-be protesters. It should also serve as an eye-opener for the people who organize protests around here. Is the government proceeding rightly? To understand, there are gains being made. In the same vein, there are lapses. But what are we doing? That's what I always say to people. Opposition is not all about you being denigrating and, everything, whether it's good, you criticize. No, it's not about a criticism. When you criticize, you make informed contribution for transformation. So if the people in your own space, if the people who are at the helm of power cannot transform the things that needs to be transformed, and in your little weak way. Now, we talk about building the minds of the people, transforming the minds of the people. It doesn't only call for government. You and I, in our little space, we can transform the minds of the people. That's what I always say to people. Mr. Malou, I must give him the credit. He's one of those individuals in our body politics that is so crafty. He has the sense of organization. He knows how to organize. He has that gift to bringing people together. He has that gift of bringing people together. But guess what? But is it for the right reasons? Is it for the interest of the people he professes to bring out these ideas for, or it is for his personal gains? So this is where the issue with Mr. Malou is. He's a good organizer. Mr. Malou, in the CDC-led government, he was very proactive. He was very instrumental in organizing. But guess what? Based on his affiliation and based on his engagement, other people felt jitter and he was ostracized. Yet still, with his resilience, he did not remain in huddles. He came up with his own organization now called STAND. And there were people, and there are people who left the organization he's from and have gravitated to his newly organized organization. And even members of the organization that criticized him, that did a lot of things to him when he was amongst them, they are also looking up to him as a lead, as an arrow to organize protestations, and then they are giving their full support. That tells you you have a power, you have a gift, you have that sense of getting people connected within a real time. But is it being used in the right direction? This is where Mr. Molu need to sit and ask himself and have a recourse of his direction. You have the gift of bringing people together. I must give him it. He's very instrumental in gathering people, in initiating things. But is it in the right direction? So this is where he needs to sit and redefine his strategies. He's a good talker. He moves. During his chairmanship at the CDC, he was muted, all because of other people who were around there felt, jittered about his presence and all the kind of stuff. You know that. You know, and I know. But yet then still, when he was booted out, he did not remain in huddles. He came out strongly by putting a group together. And this is the second protest they have organized. And we see members of a political organization that booted him out. They see him as an arrowhead. They join him in the process. A man that you booted out and said he was a non-entity. Now you join him because he's vocal and has come out in a frank manner, to engage the leadership. So this sense of belonging, in Liberia, we are so much induced with this whole thing. We feel so entitled. That level of entitlement is what actually bothering us. We feel entitled because I sit on the radio and people call in, so there should be no other person that will come here. This is my area, so no other person. So anybody who of like mind start to come around, I try to put them aside. I try to do all the things that will silence them. If we continue on this footing, it will be wrong. So to Mr. Malu, you need to change your course of action. You are very instrumental. There are people around here that depend on you to speak out, and they come out to buttress, but they cannot come up front to say things or to carry on such an organization because, mind you, they do not have that charisma. That's the reality. So must face it. So you can make a necessary change and divert your tactics to positive transformation. What are we trying to say here? You get a lot of people following you. Since you are so convincing, you can get the minds of those people. Most especially, most of your followers are young people. And we saw a lot of them on yesterday. We had conversation with them. These people, you can reach out to other institutions. You can reach out to other individuals. Say, look, regardless of me being in opposition, but I have numbers. And these numbers can be transformed for the better that will help our country's growth. can we get a support in getting these people educated? Can we get the support of getting these young folks off the street? I have the charisma, I have the ability, but I just need that push. We saw a lot of young people yesterday, the turnout. You know, though the turnout was not as huge as expected, but those young people, you were able, if you can even control 10 people in this country, if you can control 10 people, you are strong. You have the charisma. So you can turn that into positivity. You don't have to have state power before you make transformation in a society. And we are in a dispensation. That's why I always say to the government, it's about time you read between the lines and see some of those things that you haven't done yet. And some of those things that you play deaf ears to. It's about time you start to work on them. Transformation don't come so easily, but it based on your persistency and your consistency and commitment to the process, it brings about transformation. You cannot sit there and say, oh, we will, and at the end of the day, you're not making efforts. Even the good of book graduate said that faith without work is dead. Oh, yes, we will. But are you working towards it? So with that being said, we want to say to those in government, it is not your right. It's a privilege at the moment. It's a privilege at the moment to serve your country. Each and every one of us do have the right, be it you are from a political party that is at hand of power, or you are from the opposition. In as much you are a Liberian, it is your constitutional right to a job. It is your constitutional right to good health. It is your constitutional right to education. But when you are privileged to have the opportunity to serve, you must serve with diligence, commitment, and with integrity. And we talk about our society. Our society is what it is now because the people who we look up to as leaders, the way they carry out things. We are talking about building the minds of the society, building the minds of the young people. We say the young people are future leaders. What are we doing to transform them for the future? What are we doing to transform them for the future? Building the capacity for the future. I made an analogy the last time. Those who, when cell phone business just came into being in this country, those who had the 3310, they were the top-notch people around here. They are big boys, the bourgeois. During that time and season, everyone who had the opportunity to hold a cell phone, you are a big boy. But now comparing the level of sophistication and the technology that comes with today's reality, you cannot bring that 3310 and compare it with iPhone 13 Pro Max. Least to say, you cannot even bring that 3310 and compare it in this dispensation with even techno. Because such a time, such a condition, as we move forward, as the world is evolving, there are a lot of transformation taking place. So you cannot use your old age political strategy to get the people to still follow you. So you must think outside of the box. So in this dispensation, if you still have the people believing in you to carry on some level of like what you normally do, and they still follow you, that shows that you carry grace, and that grace can be transformed for the transformation of each and every Liberian who see you as a leader. We cannot be abusing the opportunity afforded us. We carry a lot of grace, but we must use this grace for our personal gains. We must be able. That's why I always say to people, when God places you in a family and amongst your family members, you are the only one, you look like the breadwinner, do not use that as a means to suppress them. Be able to create another breadwinner. Your one cannot do it all. So be able to use that gift given you to create another breadwinner within the family. That's how the society is. It is not all about yourself. Look around for the other people. So 0887-105-105-0778-665-073 are numbers to call. What you make of the conversation yesterday? There was a protest action by Stan. It did not go well at the end. There were a lot of destruction that took place, and now the police is calling on Stan, Mobile Malu, the Avin Wisse from the CDC, and Achi Pompon to actually turn themselves over to aid in the investigation that is being conducted by the police on happenings on yesterday. So what do you make of it? 0887-105-105, 0778-665-073 are numbers to call. Let's hear you. We have limited time. We want to actually have that conversation with you. So let's get to talk the talk as we walk the walk. We owe no allegiance to any political party. We owe no allegiance. We speak consciously with the love for country, that sense of belonging, nationalism and patriotism. With consciousness, we speak truth to power. 0887-105-105-0778-665-073. Let's get our final commercial commitment. And then we wait for a few minutes, your calls, then say goodbye on today's edition of The Positive Show. My name is Rufus Divine Cannon. So let's get to hear this person. Good morning.
Morning, how you coming on?
Wonderful. What's your name and you join us from where?
Yeah, I bless God for you to God to honor him. But my advice there is, Mobile Moru, for according to the Constitution, for spoiling most of those cars and those things, then they arresting and the example. And they must sell his property and pay for those things. They will do it in a country, they will learn from it. So that Mobile Moru be the example for the whole of Liberia. So that all I have to say, I thank God that the people pray for the country. So thank you, that God bless you.
Thank you. 0778-665-073, 0887-105-105 are numbers to call and form part of the discourse this morning. Let's get to the line. This caller, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
What's your name and you join us from where?
I join you from Singleton.
Let's hear you.
Thank you for the topic on the discussion. My input has to do with, first of all, whether the protest was a legitimate one. I may say yes, because we saw police in the process. So I think it was somehow legitimate, but was the protest conducted in a form and manner that the organized could be to know, because that is based on peacefulness. The organizers told the protest was a peaceful one. From sitting yesterday, the answer is no, the protest was not peaceful, for the fact that they were even able to break or damage people's property. Means the protest was not peaceful. And at some point, you could see then there were a lot of actions where they were not adhering to police instruction. Police who were there to make sure that there was not adhering to, even went as far carrying food and pack on the main road to cook there. That was also a violation. That was not, and they had people don't want to work because the traffic was stuck there. They blocked traffic, stopping businesses and stopping other workings of people. That was now also peaceful. So My conclusion has to do with the organizers of the protest are the ones should be held responsible for every damage that occurred yesterday, most especially as properties being spoiled. The organizers of the protest has to be responsible. That's my aim.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your input this morning. And this information coming in from the international scene. The U.S. has officially announced a full suspension of immigration from 19 countries after the recent terrorist attack. And these countries include Afghanistan, Burundi, Chad, Republic of Congo, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea, Haiti, Iran, Libya, Yemen, Somalia, Sudan, Cuba, Myanmar. This is Yemen rather. Yemen, Laos, Sierra Leone, Togo, Turkmenistan, and Venezuela. So these are the 19 countries that are put on hold as it relates to U.S. immigration. So if you're in those countries and you want to actually have access to the U.S., just your countries on the radar, and it's been put on a suspension. 19 countries. U.S. has officially announced a full suspension of immigration from 19 countries after the recent terrorist attack. So on this note, we get our final commercial commitment and then wind down the curtains.
Are you looking for fast, reliable internet for your home, small business, or office? Look no further. Get the MTN 4G router from any MTN service center today for just $49. Cat 4 router and $89 Cat 6 router, and enjoy connectivity and convenience like never before. No stress, just connectivity and convenience. You can activate your router yourself at any time using MTN Momo or airtime. Just dial *355# and enjoy bundles starting as low as $9.
Rush now and get your 4G internet router. Call 5656 for more information. Enjoy affordable, fast, and reliable internet with Lucascell MTN. Business done better.
MTN.
Your car renter is bigger and better with affordable rides for you. Anywhere in Monrovia is $5 or its equivalent for a ride. You can order a ride anywhere within Cinco and Central Monrovia and pay just $5 or its equivalent in Liberian dollar. Airport drop-off is $30 or its equivalent in Liberian dollar. And Pinsville is just $15. Book your ride by calling 0880-378692, 0880-378-487, or 0555-773-773. Once again, book your ride by calling 0880-378692, 0880-378-487, or 0555-773-773. You car renters, your affordable ride just for you. Liberia, are you ready? Your chance to turn small money into big winnings is here. It's the NLA 590 Lotto, powered by Blue Star Lotto. 5 balls out of 90. Match your numbers, win instantly. From Monday to Saturday, we draw twice daily to double your chances. The diamond draw is at 2 p.m., while the gold draw is at 8:30 p.m. To play is very easy. Visit any of our point of sales agents near you. Play for as low as $50 Liberian. Pick up your numbers from 1 to 90. Your printed ticket is your key to cash. Just a reminder, when you win, cash out fast through Momo Money or Orange Money. Or better still, visit us at 18th Street Cinco, 4th floor, Amal Building, Monrovia, Liberia. This is your time to shine. Play today because luck might be calling your name. Not just that, Blue Star Lotto is now recruiting POS agents nationwide. Isn't that a good news? Join us and be part of Liberia's growing lottery network. Call us on +231 888 001151 or +231 778 001151. Once again, call us on +231 888 001151 or +231 778 001151. NLA 590 Lotto. Play to win. Numbers are everywhere.
What time is fast spent? Thanks so kindly to all of you who called in. We appreciate your participation, and to those of you who would have loved to call, and we ask that you make your date on tomorrow when Fan Forma and John Kessler will be here. I'm here Tuesdays and Thursdays. My name is Rufus Divine Cannon. I lead and order follow. First among equals. Of course, I'm destined for greatness. I always leave you with this voice. Two things in this life you always be remembered for: the problems you create and the problems you solve. And we must take responsibility of two things in our lives: our fortune and that of our misfortune. Because in union, strong success is sure. With God above, our rights to prove, we over all prevail. With hearts and hands, our country cause defending, we meet the foe with valor unpretending. So be that agent of positive change. Liberia is all we have. Only Liberians can transform Liberia. Let's keep the peace and play safe. Have yourselves a wonderful and God bless day. Follow the rest of our broadcast.